You are now tuning in to the Unorthodox Haven Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
The Unorthodox Haven will cover a wide range of topics to offer unique perspectives, pushing back on conventional wisdom. We hope to inspire self-discovery over emulation. We believe you should think outside the box, regardless of what it looks or sounds like to others. Here at Unorthodox Haven, there is no right or wrong answer, just your own unique perspective.
In today's time, right? You don't feel like, I feel like people our age, right, are becoming more comfortable being alone. That's a theme I'm running into. Or like, this is good solo. This is like, I think we want love on Instagram and on like in the conversation, we want love, but like in action wise, I feel like we kind of like getting comfortable without.
I guess that's a hard one for me because I've always been alone.
Okay.
I've always been the guy that's been by himself. I don't need nobody. Always had that mentality. And I've always been comfortable by myself. Like, I don't need nobody around me. But I think a lot of that had to do with how I grew up too. You can put them headphones on now too. Yeah, but I don't know. That's a good question. But
Are you the only child?
No, I got an older brother and an older sister.
Okay.
And I got 2 younger stepbrothers.
Okay.
That were my dad's girlfriend kids. You know what I mean? They're still my brothers to this day. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm the youngest though. Out of my blood family, my mother's kids, I'm the youngest. I got an older brother and an older sister.
But how were you, like, what made you a loner?
I think it's the age gap. For me, it was the age gap because my sister and my brother were outside when I wasn't able to be outside.
Okay.
So I spent a lot. My mom worked 2 jobs. We was poor. You know what I mean? So she working 2 jobs, 3 jobs all the time. She ain't never home. Then my brother, he's in the, you know what I mean? He's a teenager outside. And my sister's a teenager right behind him outside. And I was just left alone.
Okay.
It was just me.
So like life, like it
Yeah.
just kind of put you in a situation where you were solo.
Yep, I got real comfortable being alone and doing things by myself.
So has that affected like dating? Like we're
Yes.
like, okay.
It's super easy for me to disconnect.
And just be like, it's all right.
Like it ain't that deep. You know what I mean? For me, like a lot of people would be like, oh, you know, that like they put a lot of stock in relationships. And me, I'd be like, yeah, it's over. I mean, I'm gonna be all right.
Seriously? So you never been heartbroken? Where it's like, damn, that shit.
I don't know. I've probably been heartbroken before. I don't know.
It's the way you
Have I been
talking about it.
Yeah, have I been heartbroken before? I've been sad. Yeah, I guess you know what I mean. When relationships do come in, I'm not like cold hearted, like fuck it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I do be like damn, but it's kind of like I drop my ice cream on the floor. Damn.
Okay, were you sadder about the goals not being reached when you had to take the break from the...
For sure.
Okay.
That shit kept me down way longer than any relationship of mine.
For real.
Like I said, I'm cool being by myself. It doesn't. You know what I mean? If I go back to be by myself, it's kind of like, all right. To me, I see all the perks on that side.
There's perks over here. There are definitely perks.
When you're alone, I save money.
Yeah.
I save time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't got to compromise.
I ain't got to compromise. I can just do whatever the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. You know what I mean? And just come with it.
I tend to so far I'm realizing I'm making more money alone. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like a spiritual evolution where it's kind of like I'm just getting more focused and I'm like calling in the money and actually catching the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure that that's what's happening like physically. But even like my last dynamic, like something in my spirit kept telling me like, you need to get out because it's messing with your bag. And I was like, I try not to believe that too much. And like, because I feel like if you have a certain belief, it becomes your reality because you believe it so strongly.
For sure.
So I kept trying to like work against it. But like everything the person was inviting me to do was like lollygagging. And it was like, it had me just in like a fake utopia, you know? And I was just kind of like, we can't do this shit all day. Like we have shit to do. I have shit to do. Don't you got shit to do?
Listen, COVID messed me up. COVID, because I had a plan before COVID. You know what I mean? I had like a lot of things lined up, especially with the photography and traveling and all that. I had a lot of stuff in line. Then COVID happened, the world shut down, and it threw everything for a loop. And then after COVID and all that happened, I kind of looked up and was like, yo, I should have been made way more progress. I felt like, you know what I mean, than I have. And then I look around me in my circle and then look at the people that push me, the people that don't push me, the people that motivate me, you know what I mean?
And keep you hungry.
The people that even ask or engage with me about things I'm doing, you know what I mean? Because it matters. If nobody's like, if he's like, oh, yeah, I did this today, I did a podcast today, they're like, oh, all right.
And on to the next
On to the next topic.
That's real shit.
You know what I mean? So, and I shouldn't give them that much power to dictate anything that I do. But when you know what I mean, when you in that space with somebody, you share that space with somebody, you want somebody to be like, you know what I mean, interested in what you're doing.
Yeah,
or
like,
least,
and naturally curious.
Yeah, or at least interested in my growth. Like, you know what I mean? Or be like, hey, what are you into? That's what you into? So cool, I'm a support, even if it's just having conversations. You know what I mean? And it made me hyper-focused on. So I started judging people. I would talk to them and shit, and I would mention shit, and I would be real, like, let me see how this motherfucker gonna respond to this. And a lot of shit was dead. Like, you know
Seriously?
what I mean? Yeah, and
that's a little heartbreak. That would have broke my heart. Like,
Yes.
watching people who you know, want to be there and, like, investing in you and really seeing, like, damn, your interest is nowhere around what I got going on. Like,
yep.
You know.
Yes, I went through a battle, though, because I was like, all right, is it just me? Like, you know what I mean? Because also I can't be selfish because that person might got some shit going on in their mind, too.
I think sometimes people count you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't say it, like, straightforward, but energetically, they count you out. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, like, I feel like I kind of grew up the underdog, like, the person that was just, like, slept on. Like, yeah, we know her, but ain't nobody sweating her. You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of got comfortable, like, not being sweated, but it was like, I feel like the more I got into, like, my bag and understanding, like, what I was supposed to be doing with my time, what I was supposed to be, like, creating and showcasing, now it's like a different experience of people trying to pull up on me and trying to fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, I'm like, y'all never fuck with me in the past, like, why now? You know what I'm saying? But now I'm hip, like, okay, I'm showcasing more of what I can do. Nobody knew what I could do because I wasn't, like, just walking around showcasing it. And I don't know, I just feel like I was kind of the dork kid. I was National Honor Society. I had a list. I sucked my thumb, you know, like.
What's wrong with any of that?
Well, nothing's wrong with it. I think it is who I am, you know what I'm saying? Or in, like, just what I was born like. But I feel like all of those things were factors in this reality that kind of made me, like, Jadon over there, like the girl with the sucking her thumb.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't like talking about anything that I do. Like, you know what I mean? Well, I don't like celebrating anything that I do. I might mention it, but I don't like talking it in, like, in a highlight. Like, oh, I did this and do that. I'll do 20 things, and I'll come back, and I won't say, hey, I'll be chilling in the room. People were like, oh, yeah, I did this. And I'm like, well, that's what's up.
See, I'm where they're at now. I'm now celebrating more.
Yeah,
like,
I probably need to, but I don't.
I'm learning to, and I think, what was the trigger for me? I think I just started to celebrate myself more because I felt disconnected from success, or from my success. Like, I think I didn't really quantify it or really, like, even, like, realize it fully. Like, people like, oh, like, some people would come in and be like, yo, that's a big deal. And I'd be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was kind of like, you know, but then I started getting, I was like, why is this person externally coming over here, like, you know what I'm saying, telling me it's a big deal, and I don't feel it. So I felt disconnected with my own projects and my own success. So I started like, first of all, no, this is a big deal. I don't care how little or small like I remember when I got my last, each tenant I got for the number 3, Studio 3. When every time I got a tenant there, I took myself out. I was like, oh no, it's time to go get drinks. It's time to celebrate. Like, let's make it a little thing, you know? And even like, but I didn't grow up celebrating my, like, birthdays real big. I didn't grow up celebrating accomplishments real big. Now you can't tell me nothing about my birthday. Like,
I wish I can get there. I ain't there yet.
If you want to get there, you can get there.
Yeah, but I'm getting up there. I'm 37. I think I'm 37. Might be 38. But damn, what?
You really fucked around and forgot.
I think I'm 38. I think I turned 39 this year. Yeah, I turned 39 this year. Okay. But I forgot what I was about to say. Dang. I had a point when I mentioned my age. It threw me off.
You said you're going to get there to that point of celebrating yourself, celebrating.
Yeah. At this age, though, I think I kind of settled in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of things that I don't celebrate a lot of stuff. My birthday come around,
Okay, so I am going to tell you that, like, neurologically, your brain can still create new pathways. So, like, that old saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks is an absolute lie. An old dog can absolutely learn new tricks.
Valid.
Because the brain is constantly building new neural pathways. So, if you really, like, find a space in you that's like, let me, like, just crank this part of myself up to a whole nother level, you know, whether it's celebrating, affirming yourself. Because for me, celebrating feels like self-affirmations, like seeing myself and really, like, taking a moment to, like, hand clap. Because it takes hard work to hit these goals, right? It take me listening to my intuition. When my intuition like, yo, drop that pose. Talk to this girl about this.
See, but I
do
don't.
that.
See, when you say that, I don't look at it as hard. Like, I guess I don't interpret it as hard work. You know what I mean? Like, even my successes, I just be like, I just did what I wanted to do. I guess I know. What I mean, I don't like put a like. You know what? I did that. I'm like, I did it.
See, for me, even for the fact that tomorrow you said, like, you got to drop your daughter off, right? And then you doing this right now. And this is hard work. Like, this is a lot for me.
I get it because I pack up and pull down all by myself.
Hard work.
A lot of times.
Hard work.
It's just what it is, though. Like, to me,
It is what it is.
To me, it's a task. It's like, I do the task.
Yeah.
You got to go put this up, put that up, make
Hard
sure this is
work.
right, da-da-da-da, make sure your microphone, blah-da-da-da, and I just do it. And
You needed a ladder to hang all these things up,
yeah,
right?
I did everything myself.
Hard work.
To me, see, I don't look at it as hard work. It's just a thing.
I mean, and I think that's like the masculine side of you, you know, like the man's man part of you.
Maybe.
However, I know for me, like, over just handling business and handling my life, raising my son, co-parenting, being an adult woman, and friends and frenemies, right? Fake friends, real friends, like all of these all these different tunnels I'm learning, and I have to navigate and handle taxes and handle my mental, right? My spiritual, clean my house, clean my room, and I got high standards. It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
So I'm the same way. So everything else is kind of like all the accolade, all that other stuff. I just, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot. All the stuff that's important to me is my time, her, family, and it's not even really money. It's not. I don't like saying money. It's more so the tool. You know what I mean, to do what I want to do, and not necessarily money, because time gives you the same tools. You know what I mean, to do what you just got to be smart about it. So I wouldn't say time, but just having the access to do what I want to do when I want to do. But outside of that, man. But I've also learned that I've done so much dope shit. I just don't tell nobody. Nobody knows about it. Like, you know what I mean. And then a lot of times they're like, "Why you don't tell nobody?" I'm like, for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what me telling you this gonna change about anything?
I mean, and I agree, because I do think that certain moments are just for you, but I don't know, my spirit be talking to me. So, like, let's say I'm talking to someone and my spirit be like, yo, you should tell them about this event you got going on, because I feel like for some odd reason, I feel like they would love to come to this event or pull up here. Yeah. I tell them, and next thing I know, they would love to come to the event.
See, I don't talk to people.
I used to not talk to people.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I'll be in a room full of whoever. And I don't gotta say a word to nobody. I'm totally fine. It don't bother me that I didn't say anything. But I'm trying to get out of that, because this, like, the new planning of this whole podcast thing, I have to, like, source people.
Yeah.
Although I did get an intern that,
come on,
you know what I'm saying, he gonna actually go out there and be sourcing guests for me. I gave him, like, what kind of people I wanted to get. I made a sign up sheet, like, hey, here's everything you need. Here's all the literature you need. Here's all the explanation you need. I got everything you need right here, printed out, paper, digital.
Just do it.
Just do it. You know what I mean? That way I don't got to do it, because I'm trying to break out of the habit. Because when I'm around people, I can talk to anybody, but I just rather not.
I feel that.
Unless it's like a setting like this. Is a one-on-one? Cool. But it's like out in public, I don't like talking to people like that, for real. But I'm trying. I need to get out of that, because I have a lot to offer. And I got a lot of tools at my disposal that I could help people with, and you never know who you're gonna meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got to, like, really break out of this whole mind frame. I'm just me, though. I took that whole humble thing to a different level. You know what I mean? I let that thing embody me, and to the point, like, I'm super duper humble. I've been in a room with some crazy people, and it don't even mean nothing to me, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, it happened. That was cool. But I don't like to use it. Be like, hey, yo, I was over here. I did this.
Well, that's just corny. Like this thing you're describing is really corny. But
I look at that about so much stuff. Like it'd be corny for me to be like, yo, all this stuff was hard work, man. Putting up this photo. I think that's corny too. Corny,
yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about celebrating yourself. That could be intimate. That could be an intimate setting, which is you and yourself, or it could be you and one close friend, you and your daughter. You know what I'm saying? To me, celebrating is more of like an internal. I see you. You know what I mean? Like, but like if I came in here, he was just like, let me show you.
Yeah, look at this. Go, man. You look good, don't it? Yeah, I don't know.
It's funny because I know a person like that, and I just be like so tickled. Like I'm trying to have the most straightest.
But that's
face.
how I feel when I tell people when I'm trying to mention stuff that I did. That's how I feel. It makes me feel like that. I'm like, nah.
Well, see, I guess for me, right, when I'm mentioning things to people that I don't know, right. I'm really inviting them out to come to things that I'm doing. So I don't typically mention like, hey, I have all these studios and you should come and sit down in one of them. They're cool. Like, I don't do that. I just more so, I'm like, hey, I got this event going on. We do like sound meditation. If you're into yoga, reach out to us, you know, if you got any questions, here's my Instagram. Like, let me know. I got a hair show going on that's about to come up at the end of April. If you're in the area, like, you know, come, you and your girls come out. Like, just inviting people to different spaces. Cause like one thing for me being from Virginia, everybody from Virginia always say Virginia boring. Virginia got nothing going on. And that's a lie. We got so many events, so many gatherings, you know, but typically people don't know, you know, who's who or who's throwing what. And even if they do know, it's weird, but I've had different people tell me this in like the last few years. They're like, well, I wasn't personally invited. I'm like, you need an invite? Don't you see the flyer? If the flyer public, just pull up. But I'm realizing, no, people want to know the people who's going to be there, and they want somebody to, like, you know, pull their coattails. So,
hey, come to this.
I'm pulling coattails. Like,
I ain't there. I'm getting there. I'm working on it. My mind is there. Like, I know what I need to do. I just ain't cut it on just yet.
When you're out and about, you don't see humans that you just like their vibe. You don't got to know them real deep.
I do.
Okay, so I would just invite them out.
See, but I got this, like, approaching thing. Like, there's a barrier there for me. I'm not the typical manly man that'll go holler at females. Like, that ain't really how I ever really approach. I never be like, hey, excuse me, let me talk to you for a second. I never really did that in public. Every female that I dealt with has been just life, you know what I mean? Some way or somehow we end up interacting, you know what I mean? But it's never me like seeing you and being like, hey, excuse me. I'm not good at none of that stuff.
You know what? Funny thing is though, I think because I'm so colorful, people come up to me. And so they'll say something to me, oh, I like your braids. Oh, your braces are pretty. And that's like my gateway to talk.
Nobody does that.
People don't just,
Nobody walks up to me. I think it's my demeanor. I
was about to say, I could see that though.
Yeah, people be like, he don't want to talk to nobody.
I'm gonna leave him alone.
Yeah, and that happens so much. So that I got comfortable being that way. And now I don't talk to nobody. Nobody talk to me.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Because you be wearing colors, but you're still low key.
Super low key. Super low key. Usually, you know what it is? I figured out it's eye contact. If I can be standing next to someone, if I never make eye contact with them, they probably would never say nothing to me. So if I look past people, if I just glance over them, nobody will ever say anything to me.
And do you do that all the time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's become more of it's just it's become a part of who I am. I do it without even thinking now.
See, I be smiling at people.
Yeah, I don't look at nobody in the eyes for real.
Okay.
Like, well, not like out in public, like strangers and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't be trying to be making that connection here.
I know people think I'm weird sometimes because I'm like,
yeah. So you friendly. I can't do that.
I wouldn't call it friendly, but I do
say
like
hi to people you just don't know.
I don't know them at all.
I like your vibe, and you just start talking to them.
Well, no, for me, I wouldn't call it friendly again. I hate that word, so that's why I'm getting away from it. But I would call myself more so like a joy bringer. Like, I think strangers, I never know what they're going through. So when I see a person, like, if I can just smile at you, you know, or just acknowledge you, for me, that's like just a part of what I want to give any human, you know, that I'm in the same space as. Yeah. Just because I feel like a lot of times, like, humans be acting like we don't see other humans in the room. That's like, how I act. And I just be, sometimes I be like, yo, like, we're spirits. We're all humans. We're all in one room. Like, even if I just acknowledge the bodies, the energies, the people in here, I'm going to just see it all, you know?
I will say, I don't turn people away, though. I'm not one of the people like, oh, don't talk to me. Like, if you talk to me, I can talk. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you're not gonna be brash and cold.
Nah, I'm not cold. I talk to people if you talk to me. But usually people don't talk to me, especially if I don't make eye contact with you.
Yeah.
But the people that's like bold enough to be like, hey, what is that? You know what I mean? Or try to spark a conversation, I might.
Yeah.
Sometimes I answer them quick, like, oh, this is what this is.
Yeah.
Is that all? You know what I mean? But I'm working on it. I'm getting better.
Look, might just be who you are. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I need to grow. I need to grow because some of the things that I want to do coming up, I gotta prepare myself for that. I really want to get into like a media production company overall and just really empower people to like do stuff in media, whether it be audio, video, whatever. And to do that, I gotta be more open and start talking to people. You know what I mean? So I gotta break out of this mode. I know I do. I just saying I'm working on it. I'm getting there.
Okay.
And I mean, all this podcasting and stuff I'm doing is helping me too.
Look at some affirmations when you get a second journal. Because like one thing that's had me, I feel like it was slowing down my prosperity at one point was me not being a people person. Because I had kind of claimed that for a little while, a few seasons of my life. Especially after going through certain heartbreaks and disappointments with my business, like specifically with my business with people, it kind of had me feeling like, man, people got me fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But then I just started to like work on my heart and work on like understanding, you know, what I could understand from the different dynamics and what I needed to do like for myself personally more moving forward. And one affirmation I started to tell myself is prosperity welcomes people, because I just feel like if I want like old money, long money, right? Like where is the source of it coming from, right? Like anytime I hear people who are like successful, they say that they fans was really they rooting team. Like it was people who've been with them since the beginning who still rooting for them. You know what I'm saying? So I started telling them, I'm like, prosperity welcomes people. I ain't got no issue with people. People don't got no issue with me, you know?
Word.
And just started to like keep that cycle going. So now for me, like when I get around certain vibes, that person don't even have to speak to me. I can tell if it ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? I can just feel it. Like,
Ever been wrong?
I've been wrong, but typically if I'm wrong, it's from the like exterior energy. Like what I see, it feels like off-putting, but the moment they open their mouth, I hear their voice, our spirits resonate. We can do it, we can have that vibe. But typically once they open their mouth and start talking, I ain't wrong.
Yeah, I would say as I'm talking to you, I'm sitting there thinking about when I engage with people, and I'm pretty open, man, because I take people as they are. I'm super not judgmental. I don't care who you are, what you do, what you did. It don't matter. Like I'm open to everybody. I don't care what you got going on. As long as you don't disrespect me in that moment or what I got going on, or something that goes straight against my moral code. And really, in that case, is more so, are we hanging around with each other, or you know what I mean, what the case? 'Cause I can be in a room with somebody I don't fuck with morally, but we can talk, we can have a conversation, we can kick it, you know what I mean? As long as that one thing there doesn't get brung up, or you leave that shit at home, you know what I mean? It's all good. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that I don't really talk to that many people, even though I'm super open and I like people, you know what I mean? In general, or people interest me, how different we are and shit like that. I was gonna ask you one thing. You been watching the news lately?
I catch some of it.
Yeah. What do you think about this whole? What do you think about America right now in general?
America got some shit going on.
Where do you think we headed?
So I think right now all the like, cause we got a lot of like bad stuff being showcased, you know. But I think that's like that's the plan, like for the news to report certain like traumatic news over and over again. I personally think that we're heading to a better future in the sense of I feel like all the stuff that's coming up and all the stuff that's being revealed, like I feel like we live in like a time of revelation. So we're seeing a lot of things exactly for what they are, so that people can start like remembering to think for themselves, not to believe these news blogs, you know, what your neighbor said. Where the fuck people getting they information from? A lot of times people today is getting they information from social media.
A lot of us getting information from too many people getting the information from social media.
But to me, the news is just another form of social media. Like all that shit is just social media. You know what I'm saying? So to me, if you didn't see it happen in front of you, like the odds is it could be a lie, it could be fabricated, even with all this AI stuff coming up. Like I think that's also affecting like what is actually going to be tangible in the like digital world.
Yeah, I wonder how the AI is going to affect the world. Like I like Chat GPT. I like the idea of like having a personal assistant, like the AI thing. Because I've taken even some of the planner stuff. I've taken things that I've written out and I put it in the AI and say, hey, revise this, and it's been fucking amazing.
Seriously?
Yeah. What?
That's some crazy shit.
What? Man, listen. I got like podcast ideas that I never like fully flushed out. I had a whiteboard at the crib. I would just like write down random podcast ideas. Like, oh, this would be a dope idea, and I write down a little something about it. And so when that AI thing came on, I was like, you know what? Let me put this into the AI and see if it can like bolster it up for me. And holy shit, it did.
So so when you say the AI, what is that? Is it AI.com? Like, what is that?
No, so there's a couple different ones, right?
Okay.
The one that I use is Chat GPT, and it's really like a personal assistant. So imagine if you got somebody sitting on the other end of the computer and you give them tasks to do, whatever they can do on the computer for you, especially when it comes to wording or stuff like that, or even advice. Like, hey, give me 10 questions about this. Spit it out.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah. And so I write these ideas like, hey, write me your show description for a podcast for pregnant women from the ages of this and that in this area, talking about these things.
Okay.
And it will write it as a full, complete thought. And a lot of for me, what I do is I don't use the full thought that it gives me. I use that as the base.
Okay.
But I take the full thought like, oh shit, this is actually dope, and I go in and I tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
For me. But what it does to it is like that shit is crazy. Business plans, resumes, ideas you got to flush out an idea. If you got something you just brain dump into, like, hey, write me a page about this, and you just list out these things, and put it in there, and it'll do it.
See, it's interesting because I just feel like we already know it's going to eventually at some point eliminate like assistants, or it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs if a computer can do it. But then it's also not going to be the same soul that a person would bring, the same essence that a person would bring, right?
Yep.
Because humans need other humans. Like we do enjoy each other's vibes, each other's essences, just experiencing like a new space. So it's like if we go too far AI, it's like fuck around and be afraid of other humans. Like
I think it's gonna get weird because what we say, like the audio portion of the whole AI thing, is kind of crazy. So you can replicate any voice now.
Yeah.
Now you can replicate what like this shit. Like I said, I could take an idea, dump it in there, and it will make it a complete thought for me that makes it sounds perfect. I've made like marketing flyers and be like, hey, write a call to action for this. Does it? And rewrite it. It does it. Hey, rewrite it again and add this. Does it? It kicks it right out like nothing. So a lot of our words are not going to be our own words anymore. Well, let me not say that, because the AI, all it is just they capture all the information they've been pulling from us all these years. All the information, everything they write on social media, all the good ideas you put on the internet, it just takes all that and then puts that into basically a computer brain. Yeah. And then you can tell it to do anything. Yeah. And it's smart enough to have a vast amount of examples because they've been collecting our data so long that it has every example you can think of. Most ideas you can think of, it's probably been collected somehow, some way.
On there. See, and I think we knew at some point this would exist. Yeah. It's just interesting that we live in a time where we haven't experienced it. It's a tool, though. Yeah, I don't like AI. Like, I see a really bad future with it. Really? What? Absolutely.
I don't think it's gonna go but so far, because like you said, it's all about human to human interaction. Now, I do think that we're gonna go through a hard phase because our youth right now they're so tapped into technology that it's real life to them. So everything that come across their phone is real to them, and so I think they're gonna have a hard time when they get a little older and realize even the people they're looking at, that's not how they look, that's not how they sound, that's not their original words. Or they didn't even make that thing that you're looking at.
And that's not like a human's vibe. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like, even like earlier talking to you about like, being with other people, dating, whatever, friendships, whatever. Like, I think one of the biggest things as a human is to like, remember how to like experience people in real time, and like have a vibe about yourself and to experience other people's vibe and see, what their essence got going on. And I feel like I know people, I'm 30. I know people 20, 21, 22, they struggling to be in rooms with different people, like all types of social anxiety. People, you know, I know some who don't go outside at all. And it's heartbreaking for me because I never would have thought, you know what I'm saying? It's like people that I'm like, what you mean this person ain't left their room in a week? Like, what is that? What is that? Why? You know, I think for me, it's like, I don't know, it's just, I just never would have thought.
I get social anxiety too.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I don't talk to people, and I mean it's funny, man. Because I say I got social anxiety, but I talk to my best friend. He's like, nigga, no, you don't. And I'm like, but to me, I do. Because like I'd rather not talk to people. Like, you know what I mean? Almost. You know what I mean?
Okay, but social anxiety, right? When I hear the word, that's like your body being uncomfortable in a room full of people.
Yep.
Okay, so for me, right, typically how I perceive that, because at one point I went through that season as well, right? How I perceive that is that my spirit is like in a room, it's uncomfortable, and a lot of times there's things that it needs to release, it needs to let out. So I started to rename those energies in my body. I used to call it like nervousness, anxiety, right? But then I started to be like, oh, I'm excited, because there's so many energies that are like, you know, milliseconds away from each other. They're very similar. And then for me, once I started giving myself the power and renaming those energies, they became those energies. And then it shifted, and I was no longer, you know, nervous in a room full of people on a mic, you know, because that shit used to like really make me really, really duper, it's like super duper uncomfortable. And I still have awkward moments. I still have moments where I'm like, you know, in my head, like, did I say this how I want to say it? Did I project it properly? And the answer and the truth is, I'm not always perfect. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's I'm becoming more comfortable, and it's definitely giving me more confidence. Like being imperfect out loud and being imperfect in a room full of people. Like, you know, if you judge me off of that imperfect moment, well, baby, carry on. You know what I'm saying? But if you still fuck with me at that imperfect moment, like, I see you, my G. Like,
well, I get that. I scrap a simple shift in perspective can change everything. You know what I mean? Like you said, when you shifting your perspective of what that nervous energy was to say, hey, this is this now, and being able to embody that. I guess I live by that rule, but I haven't tapped in it that way.
Like the action of it.
Yeah, because I'm always big on just shifting your perspective, because a shift of perspective can change everything. Like, you know, when I wake up in the morning, I try my best, even if I don't feel good, I'll convince myself to feel good.
And then at some point it worked.
It works. Like, you know what, today about to be a good ass day. I'm about to make today a good day.
I'm telling you, because we conjurers. Like, you're always conjuring an energy. So if you believe a belief for too long, or you tell yourself that this thing is a thing for too long, it becomes that thing, and it's growing because you're giving it more power. It makes me think of 50 Cent. 50 Cent, he got an interview, or I think he was on a show with Mary J. Blige. And he had said something really dope that I thought was, like, I had never heard it out loud. I know a lot of therapists might not agree with this, or might not like this statement, or hopefully y'all do fuck with this statement. But 50 Cent said that he thinks that depression is for rich people. He was like, to be depressed, like, to really.
I don't know if I agree with that, but.
And I gotta make sure I got the words right, because he said he feel like to be depressed, you gotta have time to be depressed.
I agree. Yeah. Poor people see that. I get the logic, but I don't know if I can ride with it. But I understand it.
It's that little like makes me uncomfortable. But I kind of see where you can get some gems out of it, because at the end of the day, right, that nigga was poor at one point. You know what I'm saying? He ain't have nothing, and there's a lot of millionaires that at one point did not have nothing to their name, right? But if you start looking at the hunger that lives inside of you as like a tool to go and get what you want from life, it's a different beast that wake up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, it's like, everybody hungry. Some people gonna get hungry and steal from the next man. Another person gonna get hungry and go get it for themselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So to me, it's like, I don't know, like everything requires a sacrifice, but you gotta choose what you're gonna sacrifice, because some things you might not like yourself for if you make the wrong sacrifice.
Listen, I know that very well, because I've made different changes, and like I said, I'm super cutthroat when it comes to certain things. I'm trying to change it. I'm good with the cutoff. Like, you know what I mean? To be like, you know what? This is over no matter what it is. It don't gotta be a person. It could be a thing. Whatever it is. Once it's cut off, it ain't even in my brain no more. I don't think about it. It ain't no issue no more. I don't stress about it. None of that shit. You know what I mean? I totally disconnect. But that shit is a gift and a curse because once you realize that in hindsight, you're like, damn, like I probably shouldn't have played it that way. Like, you know what I mean? It probably wasn't that deep for me to chop it off right there. I did that because maybe I was just uncomfortable and I didn't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? And I felt in hindsight it made me feel a little like, damn, maybe I was running from something. You know what I mean? Or maybe I really.
But it's like you don't know now because it was just so.
Yeah, I'm so abrupt with it that I'm like, you know what? All right, fuck it. It's over. It is what it is. I ain't about to even try to force this. Now that was my biggest thing. I ain't gonna force nothing. You know what I mean? So I would just let shit fall apart. And it is what it is. And I would put no effort towards fixing it or putting it back together. Now, the thing about 50 Cent, the only pushback I can give to that is that for me, and I don't want to speak for myself, I think I've only experienced depression once in my life. And it was around COVID. You know what I mean? It's really on the end of COVID. I had never felt like that in my life. Like I felt so down. I unmotivated to do anything. And so that's why when you say you have to be rich to be depressed, depression for me was a disability. Like it made me not want to do anything. I ain't want to pick up a camera. I ain't want to try nothing. I ain't want to go chase no money. I ain't want to do nothing. I want to just literally do nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So when you say it's for rich people, I don't know, because
I think you said a luxury to be depressed, but I'm listening. But
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that depression can jump on any of us for any reason. Now, how long it keeps you down or whatever the case is, that's a different story. That's, you know what I mean? And how long you let it keep you down or how long you let it fester in your brain or what you let it turn into. But I don't know about it's for rich people, because if you broke and you poor, you can get down. And if you broke for a long amount of time, that despair can sit in and that depression can make you just not, like, you know what? You'll start believing that you ain't never gonna get whatever. You know what I mean? You believe whatever bad thoughts come in your brain. And that shit become real. Yeah. And I never experienced that because I never let nothing get me down. Like, I don't care what it was. I've been broke. I've been way up. I had a lot of money. I had a little bit of money. And through all that, it's been like, I'm chilling. And nobody will ever know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nobody will know.
I'm still in here.
You know what I mean? I'm chilling always. But, you know what I mean? In hindsight, I look at it now like, damn, when I was depressed, like, that was the first time it's crazy because I love talking to my daughter, and she got the worst part of me with her communication because she, just like me, just like suck at communication. So I'll text her, I try to call, no answer. She call me back 2 days later, and I'm calling and texting, but I do the same shit. You know what I mean? So people text me, and I be like, oh, I'll hit them back in a second. Yeah. And
just get gone. Okay, so I guess you could answer this how you want to answer it, but did something send you into that depression? Was there like a moment or a thing that sent you in?
I don't recall it being a moment, because it was kind of like when I looked up one day and was like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know what I mean? I think I slipped into it, and I think at the beginning of it, I think I was just blaming something else. Like, oh, this is what this is. Like, I feel like this is because of this. And I think I was just looking for reasons. So whatever was right in front of me was the reason why I was feeling bad that day. You know what I mean? But then after day after day after day, I'm like, all right, I can't keep blaming all this shit that's in front of me. Like, something else is going on with me. You know what I mean? And that shit made me like really stop and analyze myself, and then really like take account for myself and start thinking about how I felt about just anything, and then really analyzing all the shit I've done or I didn't do in the last couple of months. And I was like, damn. Like, this ain't really sad. Yeah, this shit is just, and I can't even describe it as sad. It was just, I don't know. That shit was different for me. And that shit happening in my late 30s. Yeah. That shit was rough.
So for you, do you feel like it was like a season of accountability that kind of got you back up and focused and going again? Because you say you started to like just look at yourself and like think about all the ways you felt about any which thing.
Yeah. What got me back up? I think just conversations, man. Conversation with through the podcast and shit like that. Cause I was still, even though I went through that period, I wasn't doing shit. Even when I was still depressed, I was still outside doing other shit. Like the front end of it, I was still outside. But I was blaming everything else. Like, I just don't feel like it today because of this. Or the job got me stressed out today. Or this person got me stressed out today. Or I'm tripping because I ain't talked to my daughter all week. And I would just find something to place it on every time. But then when I backed up, it just realized that I think the conversations with my best friend and like other people, it just got to that point like, yo, you got to man the fuck up. Like, get the fuck up out your feelings, bro. this shit ain't, you know what I mean? It's all you. It ain't nobody else. You know what I mean? Because I think I just kept putting it on outside sources too long.
Yeah.
And then once I got to that point that I realized it was actually me, and that everything that is all under my control. I think from that moment, once I got that realization, I was like, all right, let me get myself out of this.
See, and I can relate to that only because, like, I would say the saddest I've ever been probably was, like, in 2017. Like, between 2017 and 2019, just a lot of my energy was very, like, you know, you did this, you did that, you did this, this happened to me, and that thing, right? All just very external. And then I forgot what I was listening to. I went through a season of, like, just listening to and reading, like, a lot of, like, self-help books, and something just dropped in my spirit where it was just like, I don't know, I think I just developed this, you know, and it was from listening to different things, talking to different people, but I just developed this, I'd rather be over accountable and just take credit for everything good and bad and blame it on myself and go internal than to let anything send me external. Because when I take full account for, like, everything that I may have signed myself up for, you know what I'm saying? Like, little, big, small, indifferent. It just, like, immediately for me, it just turned into a space of, like, nah, you good. I actually got in my car and drove over here. I can get in my car and drive myself back home. Like, it just kind of just shifted the whole entire game for me, because it was like, you know what? I want you to keep doing you. I'm going to take me back home. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the power shift for me became like, let me stop looking at what other people are doing that's making me uncomfortable, because if I really don't fuck with something, I can get the fuck away from it too, you know?
I agree. One thing, relationships and modern day relationships. What do you like? I was talking to somebody the other day. So we was talking about situationships, right? And they define different situationships. Well, we got to the point we figured out that they define situationships different than I define situationships.
Okay.
And so their idea of a situationship was like dealing with a person and not knowing. Like, not knowing where we going.
That's pretty fucking accurate.
And I get that definition of situationship, but for me, I define it different. Like, a situationship is when you fucking with somebody and y'all both, you can have communication like, hey, look, I ain't with none of this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with all the extra shit. This is what I'm here for. And as long as we communicate that, and if that ever changes for you or ever changes for me, we should be responsible and say that. And then we should handle that part when we get there. Not saying like, hey, we can't never talk about no relationship shit because then I'm gonna start fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? But to say like, hey, if you feel like we want to take it past that, let's talk about it first. To me, that's a situationship. Dealing with somebody with understanding of what time it is, without it being a relationship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But you dealing with that person, y'all spending time together, y'all kicking it. You know what I mean? And so for me, example would be years ago. I could say I was a situationship man. You know what I mean? Because the females that I was talking to was like, look, I don't want to be in a relationship. And if you want to be in a relationship and you don't want to talk to me, I totally respect that. And that's cool. We can be friends. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is. But this is where I'm at with it. This is also what I want to do with my desires. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to push up on you, whatever the case is. But understand that if you allow me to do that, I ain't with this part of it. Now, are you cool with that?
This part, like, whatever agreements we make, like, if you say,
like, hey, I want to fuck with you, but I don't want you to be my girl. You can talk to other dudes if you want to. And now if I get an opportunity to have, if somebody else give me some pussy, I'll take it. I'll tell you. Yeah. But I'll take it. Yeah. As long as you cool with that, we good. Yeah. So okay. I would just be straightforward. Be like, look, this is the type of time I'm on. Yeah. If you want to fuck with me, cool. If not, cool too.
See, I think for me, what you're describing just sounds like I think it's automatically a relationship. Like, the moment two humans come together, I think that's a relationship. But there's different types of relationship. You got open relationships, you got business relationships, you got, I guess, situationships, right? All these different relationships. But I think for me, the situationship, it does, in my mind, what I perceive it to be, it does come with some bit of confusion. Where, because you can have conversations all day with a person and a person agrees, like, yeah, I'm gonna sign up for that, and then be maybe wanting something different from you. You know what I'm saying?
So the problem is not the confusion, and the problem is the person not keeping it real with you.
They're not keeping it real, but okay, so I see what you're saying, but I think for me, I would deem that a situationship only because you reaching for A, they reaching for C. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we both agreed that we was gonna reach for A. Why you over there reaching for C? So it's confusing because even if you like, hey, we communicated about this, come on, reach for A, but they still reaching for C. It's like,
See, but it's
you lied to yourself.
It's only confusing if both parties don't do what they say they do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's what I call a situationship. The moment someone like leaves the agreement in any form or fashion, because that's what I would be like, oh, y'all in a situationship or an entanglement or whatever the fuck, we want to dress it up as. But like, for me, it's automatically situationship when there's like a little bit of confusion, like if a girl trying to talk to a dude and like, hey, I want to be boyfriend, girlfriend, the dude kind of like, I don't know, shawty, let's just, let's keep it cool. Let's not, really. That's situationship energy to me. To me, it is. I think just that confusion, that like.
See, but that the confusion part is like when you say maybe. Maybe I get
confusion.
Maybe being the confusion, but don't say maybe. Like or don't accept maybe.
But see, that's the like straightforwardness, the directness. Which for me, the moment there's a directness, it's a relationship. We just gonna give it like an open relationship. We got an open dynamic. Okay. We don't want titles. We just want to do us. Yeah. You do you, I'm do me. But we got our thing. I see you when it's time to do our thing.
Define that as a situationship.
I wouldn't call it that. I would just call it open.
So situationship for you is when the confusion is entered.
There's some form of confusion. Okay. Somebody we talked about this, but you still reaching over here for B. I'm going for A. Like. Yeah. What happened? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, I've been there when people start reaching for A, and I'm like, no, we ain't. You know what I'm saying?
Get your ass back to the C.
Like, listen, if that's what you're reaching for, then you probably should stop fucking with me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I ain't got that for you. Yeah. So we gotta handle this right now. But see, that I'm that kind of person that will address that shit to head. A lot of people, they get comfortable and they want things to continue. Especially men, they will bend what they really want inside of them based on what they think the other person wants them to be.
Some men, I don't call it as a boy, but yeah, some boys will do that.
I think men too. I think a lot of it is society based, cultural based, but it's like for me as a man,
I can see that.
As a man, it's like when I meet a woman and she tells me like, hey, these are the things I like. If I don't like those things, but I want to fuck with that woman, I would entertain those things. It's
back to being boy energy. I don't like, I have a pet peeve, right? One of my biggest pet peeves is if I say, hey, I want to do this, and that person just like waves with me and they never articulate their needs, their wants, their desires, but they just come over to my island and I'm just thinking like, oh, we're on island, we're on Jadine Island and this is a great island to be on. And then at some point they're like, well, I wanted to go island C. That's a pet peeve for mine.
I get that.
Because there's some people that just, they meet your aura and some people got a strong aura and they just kind of get like wiped up in it or washed up in it. And like, at some point, they never articulate what they want, or they just never speak up for themselves.
I get that.
I don't like that. It makes me feel like I got a child around.
So for me, I think I do that. I do a version of that, right? But the logic that I ride with is that I'm open to things that I don't know about. I don't know till I know. So if you tell me like, hey, I want to go over here, even if my inclination might be like, if I ain't never did that, I'm gonna do it. Because I don't know. When I get over there, I might be like, oh, you know what? This shit is way doper than I thought it was. You know what I mean? So me, I'm open to going with the flow. Because, especially if it's new. Now, if it's a path I've been down before and you're doing something I've already done, I know I don't like that, then definitely I got to say something like, yo, nah. Like, you know what I mean? You can go by yourself. I ain't with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, to me, that shouldn't be no issue. But I do bend. I do bend because I understand that my way ain't the only way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things that a lot of us are rigid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I might not like it those first 5 times. That 6th time,
it might be lit.
Totally different. Yeah, it might be lit.
Yeah.
So, for me, me knowing that, I'm always open to be like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna like this, or I really ain't feeling it, but I'm still willing to rock it out.
See, and I think that's balance. I know for me, I've definitely been around dudes who whatever I say, that's the like center of the attention, and I can pick up on it. I can start to feel where I'm like, I don't like that from a man. I don't even think that's like manly energy for me. For me, I like to feel a man's presence. I want to hear his experience and what he wants. And, you know, like I need like a rooted person next to me. So it's like, sometimes I might say something, I might be thinking about something, and that person say another perspective, and it's like, damn, I ain't think about that. Thank you. But I need the other person next to me to have like their experience and their perspective active, or it just feels like I'm like leading, you know what I'm saying? And I think for me, maybe like the feminine part of myself doesn't just want to be the head of the whole thing. Like that doesn't feel good. Like I do that by myself.
You know, like I went through as a man, right? So I went through the leading role for a long time. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? I was cool just taking the lead, like, hey, we should do this, you know what I mean? Being that manly figure. But after years and years of that, I got to a point like, yo, I don't, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to always take the lead. Like, but it's only after like years, like, you know what? Like, what do you want to do? Don't keep looking at me to make all decisions. You know what I mean? I got that kind of energy.
So you had a black woman that just kept looking to you for all the decisions? Like all the decisions?
She wanted me to be the man, well, most women want to be the man to be.
But she was that submissive where she was like, just like, what are we doing next? What are we doing next?
To a degree. I don't want to say it like
absolutely, but it was like it was
that
like 70%.
Yeah, she wanted to be around a man that took the lead, and I can respect that. You know what I mean? I get that. You know what I mean? Her moral compass aligned with that. That's what she believed in. It wasn't no issue with that. But for me, after years of being that person, you know what I mean? After a while, you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm getting tired of making all the fucking decisions or making all the final little finite things. Or you could say, hey, I think we should go here. And I figure, all right, we can go here, we're going to go this day, and da-da-da. I would figure all the X, Y, Z out. But after I'm like, no, what do you want to do? You fucking choose.
Yeah, you plan it out. You map it out.
Whatever you want to do, we're going to do. I'm cool. I just want to just show up and just be here with you, and I'm cool with that energy. You know what I mean? But I also saw how she started looking at me different, too. She started looking at me like, damn, why you keep asking me what to do? I'm like, cuz, motherfucker, I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying?
We need to share.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I want to just chill. I want to just go with the flow. I don't want to have the pressure on me to figure everything out. Like, you know what I mean? I want to just show up. Why can't I just show up sometime? You know what I mean?
No, and I feel you. I think, you know, it's just energy, you know, and we need to share, like, that leadership role for sure. I just think it's really interesting to know like a melanated black woman exists that isn't naturally opinionated, you know, because even if someone's like the most, I guess the examples of elevated relationships that I've witnessed and seen, and the man is the leader, there's still very opinionated women around this leading man.
I can see that.
So I've never just seen like a woman who ain't like 2 seconds away from holding that wheel with this man. You know what I'm saying?
I know a lot of submissive black women. A lot of it has to do with religion ties into a lot of that.
I knew you was going to say that shit.
A lot of people that's rooted in religion. A lot of women that's rooted in religion. A lot of women that's rooted in religion, especially if they have a family dynamic
Muslim
at home.
Too. Yeah.
Muslims. And I mean, especially if the family dynamic at home has been that growing up, as the man been the manly man. You know what I mean? I understand it. I come from that era. Because I'm an 80s baby. So, you know, the things that we talk about back then aren't accepted now. It's, you know, people get offended by it. You know what I mean? So I grew up in the era where, you know, the man took charge and the man did this, the man cut the grass and did all the manly stuff. It was like super masculine back then. You know what I'm saying? There was like, it was almost a not to have any feminine energy at all. You know what I mean? Back all the men I was around, it was like, stop that gay shit. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't do this. And it wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even really feminine shit. Like talking about it. But it just, if anything goes towards that way, like, whoa.
Get your ass back on
track. Come on over here, boy.
Yeah.
You better man up and don't be all sad. You better not cry. You better hold them tears in. And, you know what I mean? If you better cry, you better have to show nobody you crying. You got to be tough all the time. And then, you know, when you get older, like, yeah, you don't got to be tough all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes some things take you going in with gentle hands. Sometimes you need to cry, bro. Sometimes you need to feel, you know what I mean? But I didn't realize that until I got older, you know what I mean? And I grew up in the era where that shit wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Don't feel. If I was to cry, I was crying in my pillow, by myself, nobody could see me, and then I was cleaned up before anybody would see me again.
Yeah.
I would cry alone, period, and I would hide that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, no, I can't let nobody see this, you know what I mean? So that whole super manly thing. So, but yeah, the whole thing, religion and shit like that, family dynamics or religion, ties into that submissive woman, or the aggressive man, the man that feels like he got to do everything. Like, no, I'm the leader of this household. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all do this, y'all kids do this. You know what I mean? Things gonna go like this. But then you got some women that's like that too. No, I'm the leader of this household. You go make the money.
Yeah.
You bring me the money, and I'm gonna go spend the money. I'm gonna make the house how I want it. It's just I've met so many different kind of people. You know what I mean?
And I guess for me, like, it's like, one, it's interesting hearing you like use the different words like aggressive man and stuff like that, because I forgot where I heard this at, but it was just like, black men only got 3 emotions: sad, happy, angry. They was like, black men really didn't get to experience all the in-between layers because culturally it wasn't accepted.
Right.
So typically black men show 3 emotions, And I know for me, like, I do think we live in an era where like women are wanting to be more in their softer season, and like I even see some of the hardest women talking about soft girl, era, and I'm just like, come on, bitch, you too. You know what I'm saying? Come on. But I think that there is absolutely a balance where it's like I just think that some we can make it gender roles and that's cool, but it's also like just person roles. Cause like I know some men that cook and they woman don't cook. You know what I'm saying? But that's because the man is the best cook.
Word.
He get in the kitchen, he throw down, he clean up better than her. Like that's what he's handling, right?
Yep.
And if that's his skill set, then boom. But there's some women that clean like phenomenally.
I think
Clean
it's a
better
new
than
thing though. Because in my era, if a dude was in the kitchen,
Yeah.
he'd probably get criticized.
But see, I think that I forget, what city you from again?
What city?
Yeah.
Here.
You from Newport News. So where I'm from, Louisiana, all the men cook. It's the strangest thing for me when I finally like got old enough and got outside and started dating men and none of them niggas cooked. That was so weird to me. All my uncles cook, my daddy cook. Like I grew up where I never seen my mama in the kitchen. So when I got outside, and, I knew how to cook, but that's because I was hanging out with my dad in the kitchen all the time, and like that was my time to like help him in the kitchen and also talk to him and get his opinion on stuff. So I picked up cooking, but all the men, and I think it's interesting because I was talking to a sister about this the other day, but I was like, yo, if men were hunters back in the day, right? They probably would go hunt, kill whatever they want to, eat for dinner. They'd probably come home, be so proud of whatever they didn't kill. They probably just seasoned it up, threw it on the grill. It was done. And then if women were gatherers and they had collected all the sides, the rice, the berries, they probably made the sides and man had the meat and we put it together. You know what I'm saying? But like I grew up around grilling men, like, and most of the men who cook, they not like just necessarily, stovetop cooking all day, macaroni and cheese and all that stuff, but they definitely handling the meats and handling, the basis of the food.
My family dynamics, my grandfather never cooked. My grandmother cooked every meal all the time. You know what I mean? And then my father, even now, my dad, I don't even think my dad cooked and be like, dumb shit, noodles. You know what I'm saying? Make a sandwich. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And that's just who he is. But his old lady, she cooks all the time. Yeah. She's the one always, growing up, she's the only one that always cooked. Yeah. So for me, I grew up with that same dynamic in the household. So when I got out there, and then when I got married to her mom, she cooked. She come from the South. Same kind of dynamic where her mom always cook. Her dad would go out fishing and stuff and maybe grill up this little fish that he brought back, but he would probably bring it in and give it to her. Yeah. And she would do the rest of it and cook it up and do what I got to do and serve him his meal.
See, I just feel like shit got thrown off somewhere. And I think for me, like, especially like today's time where men and women both working like 9, 12-hour shifts. And then it's supposed to be one person that come home and feed the whole family after we both then made enough money to keep all these lights on. It don't make no sense to me. So, like, I don't know. We're going to see what's coming about. I know for me, one thing I have chosen for myself in the future when it's time for me to, like, get in my next real relationship and prayerfully we manifest homes and shit like that, I'm going to have my own bedroom. I know that's, like, really unconventional, like, for today's time and, like, what we grew up seeing, like, where most people, they're used to, like, mom and dad in the same bedroom. Yeah. I'm not doing that shit.
So you're not gonna have a co-bedroom at all?
No.
It's gonna be 2 separate bedrooms.
2 separate bedrooms.
So is it you don't like sleeping with the person, or what is it?
I want you to come visit me, like, come see about me real quick.
I mean, I ain't mad at it. I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it because I value being alone too. So I understand. Like, that makes sense to me. I could do that. But I know it won't work for a lot of dynamics.
I think more people can do that shit than not, because I know I grew up around parents where my mama be in the bed with all her shit across the bed. My daddy be sleepy and ready to go to sleep. That man can't even go to sleep yet. because she got her laptop here, her books here, or she's up till 2, 3 a.m. Like that right there for me is like mind boggling, mind blown when it comes to like thinking about like the type of sacrifices we make as humans to love another human for decades and decades and decades of time. I'm at a point right now, I don't want to keep sacrificing my well-being in the name of love.
I feel that.
If it's love, I'm well taken care of.
It's crazy because with her mom, the moment I started sleeping in a different room was the moment it was over. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit. Seriously.
Yeah. That's how
But
I feel that way.
do you feel like you transitioned properly? Because I think...
What do you mean?
Okay, so transitions. I think I am just learning how to properly transition. I think that I never seen healthy transitions growing up.
When you say transition, what do you mean? Like breakup type thing?
No, just transition, changing.
Okay,
Like
unlike, okay, yeah.
just changing.
Yes.
So like, let's say I go through something traumatic at work, and now like a new me has to come about. Like I might be in a season of sadness for 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? How do I transition with a partner next to me, letting them know like, hey, I'm just sad right now. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't want to do nothing stupid. So like, let's find a healthy way to navigate this, right? So I've been reflecting on this for a while and teaching myself how to like make healthy transitions, because I feel like younger me was very impulsive, and younger me, because I didn't know how to make a healthy transition, it was just kind of like abrupt, like, gotta make a change. Like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, it's time to make a change, you know, because I've exhausted myself to the point that I haven't like really sat down and mapped out a plan that could, you know, really work and be, you know, produce calm. So that's why I asked you, like, do you think that you transitioned properly?
Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I. And I'm sitting thinking about it. I don't think I did. As big as I'm on communication, I like to say I communicate well. Maybe I didn't communicate some of my changes in the moment. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, think about it now. Because when I've been a lot of different people in my life. You know what I mean? I grew into a lot of different people.
Me too.
You know what I mean? And, I tell people I'm a hypocrite. And I embrace my you know what I mean? I embrace it. Because I might not do the same thing I did today. You know what I mean? That might not work for me. I might do that for 10 years, but today I wake up, that shit might not be for me no more. So I embrace that shit. But I don't know, man. That's a good question, though. Did I, like, really communicate the transition well when I was growing out of certain things, or I didn't want certain things, or it stopped being it for me, like whatever they was doing or whatever they did before? And maybe at one point it was just like, no, this is cool. But I probably didn't communicate when it became uncool or just lost its flair. You know what I mean? I would just let it keep going on. And I can see how that can make a person thinking they still doing what they're supposed to do, because I didn't communicate to them that I'm going through these shifts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then all of a sudden it's a change. And it's like, the hell going on around here?
Yeah, word up. And I don't know, you know. I don't know. I look at my relationships in the past, and I never look at it from the perspective of they did anything wrong. That's not on me. That's not for me to decide. You know what I mean? I can only speak for myself and what I did. So whenever I revisit, like, oh, this thing ended, I only think about what I did to make it end. You know what I mean? Because they got no power over me. Nobody else got power over me but me. You know what I mean? So I really be thinking about, like, damn, you know, I can. In the past, I would say, oh, shorty did this, she got this way, and that's what I shit ended. But now I'm like, all right, well, I did this. It might have caused her to be this way. You know what I'm saying? So I wear it on my shoulders. Now, she got to deal with her own shit, how she handled it. And
she know her truth.
Yeah, she got her own reasons. I got my own reasons well, but I can't judge her. I can only judge myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I pulled back, and with her mom, what I made the mistake was we went too long. Cause she's like really religious, you know what I mean? And my daughter, she goes still in that shit now. But I know a long time ago that you know what I mean? Like the religion thing, I'm like, I get the moral compass of it, but that's where it stopped for me. Like all the practicing and all the reasoning and talking and all that around God and all that, it never resonated with me. Like, nah, I look at myself more of a God than how people would look at God in the Bible.
Like an external God.
Yeah, like an external. I'm like, nah, God is more so me. Like, you know what I mean? I am a result of God, so I'm a piece of God. I never looked at it as this person up in the sky. And so I think that that's when I should have like communicated her better, but I just let her just do her thing. And I think that just slowly started to cause separation. I was outside more. I wanted to be outside having fun. I was working in the studio all the time, and I was like chasing dreams that I didn't really know I was going, but I was just chasing some shit. You know what I mean? And so I was like always doing shit. I was working in the studio. I started a clothing line. I started doing photography. I was directing videos, doing all kind of shit. But I was also working. You know what I mean? And I also was taking care of my daughter, and then her, and then I'm also hanging out with my friends. But I got to the point that my interaction with her, she would judge me always on this religious scale. You outside doing this, you're not spending time with your family. You know what I mean? You're not doing this, but it's all stuff based in this box of religion. And I just, you know what I mean? I never like really tried to like grow with her or try to bring her back to my side or more so explain who I was. I just kind of like, you know what? And just slowly just separate. And then once we slept in separate rooms, for her, it was really over. Yeah. Because she didn't believe in that. She like, if you in a different room, why you in here? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Yeah. I'm out. And that was that.
That you went with the flow.
I did it too many times in my life. And female, she might hear this podcast, but I remember one time I was on the phone and I'm talking to her and she talked to me and shit, and I'm just like, I don't know what came over me. I'm just like, you know what? I don't even want to be with you no more. She was like, what?
Nigga, what?
Yeah, like I was noting, just like, and I thought about like, yeah, I don't even want to be with you no more.
I'm good. I'm really good.
And I think we're done.
Yeah.
And it was done. We had a crib together and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like on some real shit. It's kind of like, it be on your spirit for a long time. But it's like when you finally get to a point where you just had enough, it can be that abrupt. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I think for me, I'm teaching myself transition so that the moment my spirit speaks to me and like gives me a vibe about a thing and starts to like just tell me certain things before I go deep off into the rabbit hole, I can kind of like start at the gate with it and just, you know, position myself better, you know what I'm saying? So that it don't have to be this heart-wrenching thing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I know there's certain things for me like that I just been thinking about because I feel like I'm in like preparation season for like my next relationship, and just really like there's certain things for me that like are very rigid, aren't going to budge, but it's because like they're my foundation, right? They're the core parts of me. So there's certain things that when people say them, it's kind of giving me like, because people call it judgment, but I call it discernment. Like it's giving me discernment on like what I can be a part of, what I ain't part of, because it's like I already got that figured out with me because I already sat down with that part of me through trials and seasons. So
see, that's where we differ. What? Because I never accept anything at any point because I'm always like, you know what? I could be different tomorrow. Like nothing is. I feel like nothing, especially with me, is ironclad. I've felt that way for a long time. Like, you know what? This is a deal breaker. Well, smoking cigarettes is probably still a deal breaker. I can't fuck no woman.
See, there go the one.
You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, because I also said this when I was younger, and I was way more adamant then that I don't like talking to women with body hair. Like too much, like especially way more than me, and I don't really have none anyway. But you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying? But
you've grown into it.
No, what happened was one of my best girlfriends, still to this day, was a woman that had hairy ass arms, big ass hands. It's just, you know what I'm saying, hairy legs, and she was, to this day, I got past that point, and I look back on, I'm like, yo, that was one of the best relationships I ever had, straight up. So
this gonna be a little raw and unedited. I'll never forget. I was in a Black Bike Week. And it was me and one of my roommate. I was in college at the time. So my first time in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, it's Black Bike Week. It's all these bikes out there. And so, of course, we outside, you know what I'm saying? We dressed up real cute. And I remember walking down the street and, like, you know, in that Bike Week, have you ever been before?
Long time ago, but yeah.
Okay, so, you know, the main thing is, you want to ride on the bike? You want to get on the bike or whatever? Yeah. So we like, yeah, come on. So we got on the bike. I would never forget. It was this older man. And, like, me and my roommate, we probably, like, 21, 22. And, like, my roommate, she was very hairy, you know what I'm saying? Very, and, like, we used to call her fuzzy. We'd be like, you so fuzzy, you know what I'm saying? Because she was, like, legitimately fuzzy, you know what I'm saying? And so I remember one of the dudes brought it up. He was like, "Girl, that girl fuzzy." He had spoken that. Then the older man gonna say, he was like, "I know which." He's like, he said, "The sweetest peach always got a little extra fuzz on it." From that day, I just looked at like a hairy woman from a different perspective. Like, you know what, sis? Respect. Because an old cat told me that, you know what I'm saying, the fuzzy hit different. So I'm going to respect it at the door.
Yeah, but that goes back to that ironclad thing. Like, you know what I mean, I am real open about how rigid I am. Like, now, I try to be too rigid. Even if I think this, like, I don't want no woman like this, I still like, all right, let me not say that absolutely. I don't like these type of things, but absolutely I can't say I can't rule out this person, or I can't rule out some of the things that I think is ironclad with me. Like, I'd be like, I don't want a woman that's super into church anymore because I've been through that, you know what I'm saying? But then again, I can't say that.
It's different variations.
Yeah. And it's like that across the board. So that's why I can't, for me, I don't subscribe to like, there's certain things ironclad with me. I'm super open, you know what I mean? At this point in life, you know what I mean? Years ago, maybe not the same. Maybe not so much. But now, I'm like, you know what? Be who you are, and I'm gonna meet you where you at, and then we're gonna figure out if we can fuck around with each other. Or we can figure out if we can grow together, or whatever the case is, or continue the relationship, or whatever relationship gonna be. You know what I mean? I gotta get to know you first. I can't judge you off of just what I just see on the first veil. You know what I mean? Because I probably missed out on so many good people that way in the past. If I would have did that with that girl with the hairy arms, you know what I mean? Shout out to you.
Might have messed around and missed out your best relationship.
Yeah, for real.
See, I think for me, right, the things that are like non-negotiable are like core parts of me. It's not really like the first ambiance or person or like that. Like, it's nothing aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? It ain't tall, short, this, that, dark brown. Like, it's none of that, right? But for me, it's more so like the way my life is set up and the things that I do with my day. Like, for me, because it gives me so much as far as like how it feeds back into me and my life, and like I don't want nothing like pulling me away from my certain like things. Like, for example, I wake up every single day, I like to go work out. Anybody who doesn't work out or who is trying to pull me away from working out, trying to like not prioritizing working out, not prioritizing getting that sweat in, like I'm probably not gonna vibe with them in a way that we can go like intimately, because I'm going to be trying to motivate you to work out. I'm going to be trying to motivate you to move something. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm still going to the gym at the same time every day. So if you're mad at me for having you drop our child off or do this because I'm prioritizing the gym, you're going to hate me very soon because the gym is a non-negotiable, you know? And I mean, for me, like I have a spiritual practice and I do pray a lot. I do have a goal of, because I've had visions and like dreams about like dating someone where we're practicing together. You know what I'm saying? But like I feel like my practice is different than a religion because we don't have like the same condemnation as some practices do. Okay. Ours is very individual. Like you could have a certain amount of rules and things for this one person and it could be a completely different walk for a whole nother person, right? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So, but for me, it is like, it's energetic too. So it's like, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like, I know for me, I can feel it. My energy has been off and I've come along. Like, I feel like my practice has helped me like dig myself out of like a long, I guess, confusion rabbit hole to the point where I'm at now. I'm not about to put down my practice when it's the soul that has been feeding me. You know what I'm saying? So anybody saying like, oh, you need to stop practicing that. That ain't going to work, or trying to pull me away from it or demonizing my practice. I can't even do that with you. Yeah. Like,
I agree. Anybody try to pull me away from things that I want to do, I wouldn't rock with them either. Like,
yeah.
If you don't align, if you try to, and that's another one of the pillars with her mom, because at the time, I was super ambitious, and she wasn't with none of it. Now, going back to fault, though, a lot of that shit is my fault because I broke her trust a long time ago. But I was young and immature, you know what I mean? No excuses, it just is what it was, you know what I mean? It's just that I was just immature. I had ways of living that I just was normalized, you know what I mean? Like, messing with a bunch of women, it was normalized for me because every person that was in my circle, from my father onto my immediate circle, it was just that was the thing. You know what I mean? Just talking to different women and never talking to one woman. It was, I got one friend from Nebraska, my homie Corey. That is the most faithful man I have ever known in my life. Straight up. Like, he was my roommate in Arizona. At the time, I was single. And he had a lot of, and his girl lived in Italy. Totally different country. And while he was with her, not once did he ever do nothing at all. And you know what I mean? And I think in hindsight, I was like, you know what? Damn, that shit is possible. Like, you know, like,
this shit really exists.
That shit really exists. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because for real, he did not. Like, he had, and talking about ample opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because I was single. I was like 22, 23 years old. So I was really outside. And I had my own house. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was a pocket full of money, a lot of women around. And he was right there with me, but none of them. Not one. Even the one that was all over me, he'd be like, yo, nah. And because I got a girl. She was in a different country. And I was like, damn, you different, bro.
Are they still together?
No.
Nah. It'd be like that.
Nah, they was together for a while. But then, once they broke up, then he was outside.
My man was outside a little bit.
We were both outside. You know, he was outside with me then at that point. But that shit is possible. But I think that should come with age and maturity and just growing up. And then also what you're exposed to. And
desire. I feel like you got to have the desire to be monogamous. There's a lot of people that don't got that desire, and then they trying to be monogamous, and it's like it's not what you want. Like, again,
a lot of men, they just think that's the rule. It kind of is the societal rule to be monogamous.
Whose society?
Majority of society.
Okay.
Majority of society don't lend well to being cheated on or you seeing somebody else while you with them. Majority of the society is brainwashed. Yes. Under principles that we can't even tell you where they really truly come from. But that is 1,000% sure about almost everything that we do right now. Like when it comes to weddings, wedding rings, the whole idea of marriage in general, it's been brainwashed until since we was kids. Like I was looking at this I don't know if it's the documentary or article I was reading. And they were saying like Kay's Jewelers, like a diamond's our girl's best friend. They would run those commercials on kid channels. When they first came out, it was like on the kiddie channels because it was in the teenage channels, the TV show like that. Because they didn't want to get into the minds of the older people. They want to get into the minds of the younger people. Because we're gonna grow up and be purchasing. And then then all the females were gonna motivate their man to say, "Hey, I need a diamond for you." And to show me it's moving real. Factor. There it is. And that brainwashing 101. Yeah. And same thing you say, like the whole monogamous thing and all that shit like that. We are brainwashed. Yeah. It's always interesting because, like, I don't know if I would ever fit in, like, the polygamous world or anything like that. But it's always interesting because I'll watch women and I'll see them, like, you know, swear by they want their man to just be for them, like, monogamous. And then it's like when their dude is actually monogamous, they're like, I need this nigga to get away from me. Like, he all up under me, he all around me. And I'm just like, and it'd be funny because I just be watching it sometimes. And I'm just trying to figure out, I'm like, so you want him close or you want him far? You need a little space? You want him over here? Like, where do you want this man positioned, you know? And I feel like the moment, like, women, like, really figure that out for themselves, it's going to be way easier for us to, like, I think and put them in the right place. I think we should encourage sister wives more. I don't think that for real, but sister wives. You know what I mean? Somebody introduced that to me. I'm like, you know what? I think that probably would work. What is a sister wives exactly? Like a woman like saying like, I don't want my man to be out here running the streets crazy. Okay. But if there's one other female that I know he's dealing with, I'm cool with that. Okay. You know what I mean? Because I guess it's like a sense of security. Like I know that men have this thing and they got to get out and do whatever. Or certain men, I would say. And so in order to, like, you know, because most women, like, ain't no man faithful. Zero man faithful. It's a lot of men don't think women faithful. Nah, I think time changes all that. I think faithful is only a period. So when you say time, though, you're just saying, like, enough time, a woman not going to be faithful at some point. Enough time, enough opportunity, it could be situational. It could be y'all could have had just a big ass fight, and he might have left, and he might be gone for a whole week, and you might think he might be gone for real, and you go out and do some shit. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Well, that's some bullshit. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's all situational. Leave me for a week in the house. See, that's what I'm trying to see if you're coming back, and I feel like caveman ages. That's what I'm saying. So I think it's gone. I think anybody could cheat. Anybody could be unfaithful. I think with the right time and space and opportunity. Okay. I think I've seen people that have been together 20 years. never cheated on their wife, 21 years.
When it got some. I think, I think the word cheating is relative. So if a person just disappear, for example, this example, we not gonna call that cheating. Nigga, you was gone indefinitely, nigga. You know what the fuck was going on.
I got a free pass to do whatever.
Nigga, you was gone indefinitely. I started to cry on Lil Timmy's shoulder, and Lil Timmy grabbed me kind of strong, and I looked at Lil Timmy's hand, and it wasn't that little. Like, hold on. You left me indefinitely.
Wait.
You don't, I think if any man smart, you don't never leave a woman to wonder. Keep it G with us.
I say the same for a woman. Don't leave a man to wonder.
That's some real shit.
Because I think it's way easier for us to fall into the trap. I think it's based on, I think it's based on examples in society. Like in our music, in our movies, in our TV, everything has given us examples of men has reinforced this narrative of men being cheaters, men being dogs, men having affairs, men's the one that always fuck up the marriages. You know what I'm saying? It's just a thing that we've had example after example in our music, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be derogatory shit towards our women, I think all that shit is just baked into our brain. So
this kind of just lets me know why I know the future is getting brighter, right? And that we're going to have a very beautiful future, only because like now today we got city girls, right? And our music for women is up and it's stuck, right? So for me, if like once we get to like we both can get stupid, basically, I feel like we're gonna start making more mature decisions.
I think y'all are stuck with a certain thing. I think class matters with women.
Class what you mean?
I mean like having class, like having not just going out here fucking mad dudes. I think for us, it's not like a frowned upon thing. It is frowned upon. It's frowned upon. Not by our peers. Not by most of our peers. Most men get celebrated when they sleep with a bunch of women.
I mean, I think that is a saying that I've heard since I was young. But I think, to be, what's the word? I want to say more honest about it. Like, most women don't want no community dick. Like, most women, if a nigga outside, like, with a whole bunch of women, she gonna treat him like he outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes get treated like bops, too, Valid, yeah. And so I think men pick up on that. Like, damn, you trying, you know what I'm saying? You treating me kind of like for just some dick. Like, I had dudes tell me, like, all she wanted was some dick from me. I'm like, damn, she fucked on you and left. Like, that was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that everybody's putting themselves in different brackets. Like, if everybody know where you live, if everybody that ran through your shit, it's just not exclusive no more. It ain't special no more. You know what I'm saying? And man or woman, that shit come with consequences.
But I think, I agree. You're right. No woman probably wants community dick, but I think it's just a little more heavier if it's the roles are reversed. I agree.
I think it is. I think it is heavier on women to make sure that we keep it clean and not let everybody run through our spot. But it's funny because an old cat. This is some more game that came from an ex, but he said an old cat told him this. He said it's a good key if it unlocks every door. But it ain't a good lock if every key can unlock it. Yeah. And I was just like, all right, you put me on the game. You putting me on to some more game. So yeah, I can respect that. I do think it is different for us as women. But I think even then, like as a woman, right, if we're keeping ourselves like at a certain amount of exclusivity, we're not picking just anybody to mess with neither. You know what I'm saying? Like the one who is too accessible, and that's something that I talk to a lot of women about where we're like, nah, like if he outside and he got eyes for everything that's breathing, walking, that's not even attractive. You know what I'm saying? So I think that like if the dude is slutting himself out and he all over the place, like you gonna end up missing somebody who could really be on the same level as you because you too easily influenced.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, I think it's situational. Again, like it depends on the person and the woman, the man, and all that shit. I don't know, man. Yeah, all that shit is. I think it's all relative to the situation and the person. Because I've been on both sides of the coin. You know what I mean? I think I have been cheated on before, and I took it in stride. The first time it happened, I took it in stride because I knew what I did. You know what I mean? So for me, my ego didn't let it kill me.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you did that. That's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Now, I probably did 5 times that, you know what I mean? So I really can't get that mad, you know what I mean? But a lot of men, our egos are just so fragile. You know what I mean? That shit is just a thing, especially black men, man. Like nobody wants to. It's a not to marry. You know what I mean? Turn the hoe into a housewife. It happens a whole lot. You know what I mean? But that mentality doesn't. I don't think it resonates the same on the other side. I don't think females look at men as hoes. I think females look at men as like, oh, he was just being a man. You know what I'm saying? And being promiscuous versus if a woman does it. Speaking as a man, I judge her differently than if I see a man do it. Personally.
I think women like when I talk to older women, like women who are more like I don't want to say bourgeois, but like sophisticated women. The game I feel like they always kind of give me is like, first of all, your business needs to be quiet and kept. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. We don't know what she was doing.
But that's the difference, though, because y'all keep it quiet. For us, it's
bragging rights.
It's bragging rights.
Okay.
To be like, oh, I slept with. I smashed.
Yeah.
I smashed her. Oh, I smashed that chick right there. And if another dude can see that, like, oh shit, she do look fine. Like, damn, it's bragging rights. Woman is more so professional to keep it like under wraps and keep it cool because the implications that come with it. From the outside.
But this is still old school because I feel like in today's time, like I just think that whole shit is different today. Like I think it's more I don't know. I guess for me, I'm valuing exclusivity differently, and I do feel like culture's playing a part on it. You know what I'm saying? Because even when I don't really listen to city girls, but I listen to other girls who make like that same type of music. And when I'm listening to what they talking about and some of the narrative they giving, they agree with how I feel as far as like, hey, I don't want nobody who's for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And if you gonna come around. Like with the right intentions, ready to make a bag, ready to, you know what I'm saying, be focused. Because two can play, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, even on some G shit, like, everybody not playing them games. So you might play yourself up out the fucking lane. Really? For real, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think the old school dudes definitely, I feel like the culture of, like, old school black culture came with more shame and more secrets.
On the women's side?
On both. Like, dudes were shaming women if they was too open, right? Mm-hmm. And then secrets, if the woman was open, you didn't know her business. She messed with whomever in Florida. Yeah. That shit so far left and gone, you know what I'm saying? And she could have had a city girl season, but that shit is neatly wrapped away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we really don't know, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then she could have not had a city, like, you know, some people, I know men and women who didn't get themselves away to a whole bunch of people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I do too. And I'm more on the woman's side of that aspect because I don't kiss and tell nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me, I don't brag about nothing. Mm-hmm. Like you ain't gonna know who I dealt with, you know what I mean, unless you ask that person most likely. And only that if it comes from out of their mouth, it's the only way you ever gonna know. That's just how I move. But everybody, all my peers be, you know what I mean, whatever they do, they want to talk about it. Oh, I did this, I did that. I never respected that. You know what I mean? No, anything that I didn't respect it is just I didn't find any value in it. Like, why you telling everybody? You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit hush, bro. Like, keep it G. But I came from that cloth though. I came from a cloth for like what we consider keeping it gangster. You know what I mean? It's like, dog, you don't gotta you don't gotta brag, bro. You can just be a real dude. You talking about it don't make you a real dude. You doing the actions is what make you. Yeah. You ain't gotta go out here and prove to everybody and tell everybody what you done. Like, you know what you done.
And it's more of a feminine nature for sure. Yeah, men get into
I know what I've done. So I don't I've done a lot of shit. I've dealt with a lot of people that nobody would ever know. We've been in the same room and you would never know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unless you got inside knowledge. But outside of that, you know what I mean?
Does it ever bother you if the person who you was with talks about what y'all had going on?
Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
Because I'm a private person.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, just shut the fuck up. Like, yo.
Why? Tell me why.
Yeah. Like,
but see, don't that make you move different? Whereas, like, you know what? Another joint remind me of you. I probably ain't gonna give you none because I know what to do.
Listen, I cut people off for mentioning they did with me.
Yeah.
In the past. Like, yo, I've dealt with people when we dealing with each other, and then I found out that it comes back to me. It's like, yo, did you fuck with such and such? Like, why you asking that, bro? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I found out, like, it comes from that. I'm like, I can't deal with you no more.
And that's why I think that it's really important for men and women both to be exclusive. Because, like, at any moment, like your whole reputation could
just be truthful. My whole thing is communication. Communication is it.
Y'all keep saying communication, but it ain't about communication. It's about comprehension. It's
Yeah.
about mental health.
But again, communication falls into that. Like when I communicate, it's not only for me. It's not only on me to say the words to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's on me to make sure that you understand what I'm saying as well too. It's not. I don't. Well, that's me. I don't look at the other person and be like, yo, I said this to you. Why don't you get it? I hold up I need to make sure that what I'm saying, you picking up.
But what about mental health? What if you telling them, you looking them in their eyes, you're making sure they got all the bullet points. They say yes to you, and then they start to spiral mentally, and they on a whole nother wave.
That's on you.
Okay.
That's on me.
I think for me, right, like, I've been in situations and I've seen situations where I've realized it was best to be like, nah, I can't do it. Because when I'm evaluating the person and I'm looking at all the signs that I'm seeing off the person, it's like, you're not in the right headspace to even fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what this could turn into, but my gut telling me it's going to be something I don't like. I can't really concrete tell you it's going to be this, that, and the third, because I ain't going to get into all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stay present with the right now, but I ain't going to do it because there's something in my gut that just don't sit right with your energy, you know? And so for me, it's like communication is a factor, but like your gut, I don't know, I guess I call it trusting my gut, trusting my intuition, because like people, energy, like if a person's mental health is bad, like you can't, they unpredictable. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But then again, like I tell man, listen, if you feel a way or if you feel differently, just say that. You know what I mean? And then then you put the ball in my court, and I should give the same respect to the other side. Because I had females I dealt with that I end up liking, like, you know what, I'll actually fuck with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't want you to fuck with nobody else. You know what I mean? And then we take it from that point. We either, you know what I mean, we continue on that road or we don't. And as long as I say something. But a lot of people just don't say nothing. They just let it rock. And, you know what I'm saying? And don't communicate exactly what it is or exactly how they feel in that moment, or don't even have the wherewithal to be aware of what
I'm telling. I can't do none of those parts. I think that's a lot of responsibility on the other party, which is really not your responsibility at all. But it's like, I feel like making a game time choice about who you gonna deal with, whether it be situationship, long term, whatever the fuck. Like, you got to evaluate all of that, because some people will like sell you a story and it don't be none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I think like getting older, I just be looking at different things and different cultures and seeing how they move, especially with dating, just so I can see like game from different cultures and how they move. And like one thing I learned that I thought was really valuable, they was called, I think it's in the Spanish culture, it's like in the Hispanic culture, where they have this code of conduct for women, where the women aren't allowed to be like taken out to dates. There's no going to restaurants. There's no taking this girl to the movies, blah, blah, blah. And it's because, you know, if you take my daughter out of my presence, like, you could say anything happened and spoiled her reputation, and she could have gave you nothing. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that you now have her name and people seeing you in the community with her on your shoulder, on your arm, you know what I'm saying? Like, it spoils her reputation. It puts a taint on her reputation, because now they're going, like, people want to connect you to this person. You know what I'm saying? They're going to say,
real?
I think it's real. Like, I'm not a fan. Like, the older I get, I'm not a fan. You can't take me out to dinner. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
What you mean by that?
We're not doing that. Like, a dude be like, oh, you cute, I want to take you outside. Like, no.
Why not?
Not doing it.
Why?
Because
you care what everybody else thinks.
No, I don't give a fuck about what everybody's thinking. That's the problem. That's the shit I had to grow out of. I didn't give a fuck.
But why you can't take you out?
But the reason why you can't take me out is because what's going to happen is my presence, my essence is going to now be attached to your presence, your essence, and I don't even fucking know you or not.
But just because we out?
I don't know you.
What if I take you to a business dinner? So, I actually did. So say, because I have business lunch. We meet for lunch and we talk business. You know what I mean? I've done that before. Now, from the outside perspective, they just see us two together.
I got my laptop on this table with my notebook.
even if we don't, I've met people for coffee, for photo shoots. I ain't got no laptop or nothing. We just sit down and it'd be a consultation, and we sit down and have a conversation. Now, from the outside source, they just see us together. Whatever you think from over there, it doesn't fucking matter. It only matters what I know the situation is.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you say, like, you can't take me out, like, well, but why not?
Okay, so let's be clear. One, what you talking about business, you can't do that with every man. Like me as a woman, I can't let every man be like, hey, let me take you out for a business consultation. Come sit down and have breakfast. I can't do it. I can't do it. Some of these niggas be goofy. I just gotta start there, okay?
I feel you. Women the same way, but I feel you.
Okay, some shit goofy.
Yeah, what?
Two, if it's business, to me that is different because we sitting down, we coming up with a vision, you know, we gonna be working. You know what I'm saying? That's different.
Me from the outside, I'm gonna see it the same way.
But that's my thing. I think okay. So I literally came up. I'm gonna put this up again. I literally grew up from a space of me that gave no fucks. Like when I tell you, I cared not a bit about how I was perceived. It was sickening. I didn't give a fuck. Okay. So with me coming from that deep extreme, right, and now maturing and realizing, like, you know what? Actually, I do need to care, like to some degree, because it's important. Because it's called social health, your social hygiene, right? There are certain things, like if a man is trying to like date me, he just can't take me to dinner. Like I'm not with that. I think that for me, I feel like one, I could feed myself, like letting every dude buy you dinner and like, you know, because that's a culture thing.
I'm curious now. So how does someone date you then?
How do
if they can't take you out?
We old school. Get on my line. Talk to me on the phone. So, I'm a conversation type of girl. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear what you're talking about. How you thinking.
So what if you deal with someone that doesn't like talking on the phone? They'd rather talk to you face to face.
I'm not with you yet. We're not doing that shit. We gonna talk
face to face.
No.
But see, I can't get to know you if I talk to you on the phone.
Yeah, you can.
No, I can't.
Oh shit.
Because for one, context is lost. Facial expression, body language, all that. Because I could be on the phone like, oh, that sounds good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and my body language says something. Oh, I could be in front of somebody like, oh yeah, that sounds really good, but their body language tells me different.
See, I think for me, right, like I was like last phone call date I guess I was on. This person was talking to me. I was anxious the whole time they was talking to me, and I was just taking note of it. I was like, why the fuck? Why am I feeling so anxious while this person speaks, right? But the dude was spitting like cool perspectives. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, let it rock. And I felt that anxious energy, and it was just something I took note of, because for me, like on that second phone call, if that anxious energy is still there, it's something in my spirit that's like being like shooken, or, you know what I'm saying, it's moving differently and it's not comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I just take note of it, because sometimes I know for me, right, that uncomfortable energy, sometimes it's because I'm expanding, I'm growing. They're teaching me new thought forms, and it's something I have to wrap my mind around, right? But I'm on the phone with this person and I'm conscious, and the whole entire time he's talking to me, it ain't shit new he's telling me. You know what I'm saying? He think like I think. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, what the fuck got me so anxious? But the only thing I could like kind of like guess it was from what I was like, receiving, was the dude talk fast. So I was like, maybe he's a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Maybe let me get us a few phone calls and see if, he get comfortable on the phone with me. Because a lot of people don't talk on the phone anymore. A lot of people want to text you to death. You ain't about to text me all day. Like,
I don't do either, though. I want to talk to a person face to face. Like, because I feel like when I hear what I'm hearing through the phone is not you. I think it's a digital.
What the fuck is it?
It's a digital version of you being passed through this thing, through these radio waves.
As we speak through mics with headphones on.
Granted, but we sit in front of each other. Like that's the same reason why I don't do Zoom podcasting. It's like it's so impersonal. It's like it's not when you're not in the same room when you're having a conversation with somebody. It's just different. Like Zoom podcasting. It's so impersonal, and it's. But when you're in a room with somebody, when y'all can feel each other's energy, and you can see when I'm excited about a topic, or you can see it in my face. Because for me, like a lot of language for me is not verbal. It's more about your body. You know what I mean? How you move, when you're looking around. Body language says so much more to me than your words. Because you can tell me anything. You can read an article right before you pull up on me, and then start regurgitating everything you just read. Yeah. And I wouldn't know the difference, you know what I'm saying, if I'm only hearing you. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if I see you, I'm able to pick up on different cues, you know what I mean? Where you sit across from me, how you sit, and all that shit. talks to me way louder than your voice does. So,
I mean, and I get that, but there are people who regurgitate information and will sell that shit to you like it's theirs because they almost believe it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Body language lining up and everything, right? So for me, right, even actions are questionable. Like, I don't trust words. I don't even trust actions all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, like, I have met great performers, you know what I'm saying? And I have realized, like, Hollywood is where actresses and performers go because green screens. And if you can bring an emotion to life and cry at the click of a snap, you famous, baby. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people that can do that shit better than others. So
we get cues, though. Like, you can fake it. You probably be a good-ass actor, but there's certain cues that be like, like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Viola Davis got to cry that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I think for me, when I deal with people, when I start analyzing people, I people watch a lot. That's just like one of my biggest pastimes to date is that I people watch. I'll sit out and I just watch people, watch how they move, watch their interaction. Like, I don't just look at people's faces. Like, I'll like watch like how they talk to each other.
They're fidgeting, their legs twitch.
I look at everything. Like, I look at people. I used to do the thing at the bar where people used to be at the bar, and I used to look at everything from them from up under the bar because that would give them away whether they're doing with their hands, whether they're grabbing their dick, scratching their ass, tapping their feet. Like, that tells me more about what you're thinking about than what's coming out of your mouth. Your upper body might be just chilling, but you down here like, you know what I'm saying, all fidgety, scratching, but up here, I'm regular. So I get into body language, man, and there's always something that gives you away. There's always something if you pay attention. You know what I mean? And
that's facts, but have you ever met someone who was like 1,000% manipulative and good at it?
Only verbally.
Only verbally, not the body language.
I think the body is always cues. I think you can fool me. You can fool me for a little bit, but you can't do it forever.
See, and that's the thing. I think for me, for a little bit, but at some point, the facade do start to break down. I think for me, when it comes to dating in today's time, like, I'd rather be captivated by someone's mind through the phone conversations and really enjoy their presence, just conversation wise, before I need to be in that person's face, in their space. Like, cause to me, all of those things are privileges. Like, you know where I stay, me knowing where you stay, you knowing the color of my walls, you know what books I'm reading at night, like, you know what my sheets look like or my couch look like. Like, I just think all of that shit's a privilege. And I think, like, going out to dinner and just being out at the movies and all these things, like, I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
I guess it's just hard for me to, like, imagine that being possible to grow. But I'm only basing on how my brain works. Is that because I almost have to be in the same room with you in order for me to have what I consider a real conversation. We can talk on the phone, but I think, like, for me, all my conversations in person are 20 times better over the phone. If you judge me based on the phone or how I interact with my phone in general, you would think I don't like you. You know what I mean? But we get in the same room, you like, oh, this motherfucker just don't be fucking with his phone like that. Yeah. Oh, he be leaving his phone everywhere. He forget his phone in the car all the time.
And that's fine.
And once you realize that, you're like, all right, that's why he sucks at the phone. Yeah. But when I get the real him and we sit in front of each other, the energy is great. And to me, that's what matters more. I don't think you can sense energy over the phone. But maybe that's just me.
I hear it. I feel the energy through a person's voice. Like, I'm big on, like, listening to a person's voice. I hear their breath while they're talking, you know, and I feel it, like, energetically, I feel it. So,
what's your love language?
I know one of them is touch. I like thoughtful gifts. So it don't got to be an expensive gift, but if you've seen, I was like looking at this thing and you got that thing I was looking at. I love that type of stuff. Wow. Probably traveling. Anybody who would travel with me. Anybody who's like, oh, what? Come on, let's go. Like, what? Come on, bud. Like,
that's interesting. The reason I asked that because I was trying to see if the things you were gonna say were physical things, like in the room, same room with the person, things, or separate. But you gave me examples of all your love languages, like when you with somebody.
Yeah, physical. But I think that's a privilege. I don't want to just give my love away for free.
How you get there without?
I like conversations too. So I'm going to get there when I'm there. When I'm there, I'm there. But before then, I'm here. Yeah, and you're there. And we're going to see what's here.
So it starts on the phone.
It starts at here. And then we see if we're going to go there.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I think I'm like the opposite. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to meet you over the phone. Like, who you are over the phone, that doesn't matter. That's like I don't care. Like, I care who you are when you're in the same room with me. I care how we interact, because we could be in the same room and don't say a word and have a great time. We can enjoy each other's company and not mention a word. You know what I'm saying? You could be around somebody, I'll say 5 words to each other all day. We had a good day.
Yeah.
And so for me, I care about that more than I care about whatever's gonna come out your mouth.
Yeah.
Because whatever you say to me today might be different tomorrow. You might feel different tomorrow about that thing you just said. You know what I'm saying? You might not feel the same, or you might forget, or it might be bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
But see,
Whatever.
and that's the beauty of conversation. Like, you seeing if a person's keeping up with themselves when you're talking to them. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to phone date, so I want to talk to you. Like, I'm probably not gonna be on your line every day, especially we just getting to know each other. But like every other day, you know what I'm saying? Checking in with you. You know, a little time here, a little time there. And see if it's like, if you a mind that I like desire to keep connecting with. Like, do I be like, damn, I missed our conversation, that was good, let me talk to him again, you know? Because like, if a person not solid with themselves, one, you can hear it in the way they say certain stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then two, day 2, day 3, day 4, that shit gonna start to change, you know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing wrong with change, because I changed. Like, it's funny, because early I was writing, I was like, I think I might be like a daily metamorphosis or some shit. That's what I was trying to figure out the wording for it. But I change often. But the thing about it is I keep up with all of my changes. So if I change today, I know I changed from what I changed from yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't confused that I ain't on that no more.
I don't.
You don't keep up with it?
I don't keep up with my change. Well, only time I ever keep up with it when it's presented to me.
Oh, like someone be like, yo, yesterday you didn't say that. Or,
I'm like, oh, that's cool. I probably didn't feel like that yesterday. I feel like I got today though. You know what I mean? Because there's certain things that I came across in my life that I didn't even realize that I didn't fuck with at some point. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just look up and like, damn, I don't even know when I even pick this shit up. Like, when did I used to not even do this kind of shit. And at some point, for some reason, now I'm here.
See, I keep up with that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes my friends make me aware. They'll be like, well, this is what you said. And I'll be like, oh, that's what you took from those words. I might have to like clarify. I'll be like, when I was saying this, what I was trying to articulate and project was this, which is why like one of my intentions for this year is to get better at communicating, because I think that a lot of times I communicate and I say things thinking it's understood, but I don't think my words always necessarily hit the mark like they need to.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get like more, just better with using my vocabulary and describing things fully and not leaving out like, you know, details and stuff.
Yeah, I've ruined a lot of relationships behind the phone. Behind people who want to talk to me over the phone all the time or try to communicate with me via phone. Relationships be falling by the wayside.
Because you just don't be,
I just don't be engaged with my phone.
But like texting you or even on the phone, like even
either or. Like for one,
shit.
it's like it's just the phone thing, man. Because it's like, and I think it has a lot to do with her. Whenever I'm around her, I make it a point to not fuck with my phone. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, yo, my time with her is limited, it's precious. I need to be fully attentive. I don't need no distractions. I need minimum distraction. I got enough distractions from the rest of the world. You know what I mean? So when I'm with her, she deserves, you know what I'm saying, me to leave the biggest distraction, you know what I'm saying, away. So usually when she around, I'll leave my phone in another room. I'll go in the other room, I'll look at it, I'll leave it in that room, and go walk back to the other room. I'll go to the other room just to check my phone, look at it, see what's going on, if I need to respond. That might be 2 hours later, might be 4 hours later, but the person on the other end is calling me. They be like, damn, bro, I called you 5 times, or I text you a couple hours ago and you ain't hit me back, or we hopped on the phone, we was on the phone for 5 minutes, you ain't call me back for, you know, to the next day.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, don't judge me off the phone. Like, you know what I mean? Then, well, everybody that sits in front of me, we sit down, we chop it up. All relationships have been great. But people that judge me, don't judge me based on my phone etiquette, because my shit is trash. And for one, I don't even want to sit on the phone and talk to you for hours. I want to be in your presence, because a 5-minute conversation in the flesh beats out an hour conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
I learned so much more about you in that 5 minutes than I can listen to you and talk on the phone.
Yeah. I think, I guess for me, like just in the past, like letting different men, like, you know, talk to me in person. Like most dudes that I've been around who want to talk to in person, their love language be touch as well. And I feel like they be wanting to be more physical or like push up on you. And it be like, all right, homie, like I'm getting the gist. I need you to ease up off me. You know what I'm saying? And then also I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like when we don't know each other, like I don't know, it just be a weird, I guess. Do
you think it has something to do with what you do for a living? Like, because you deal with people every day when you do what you do. Do you think that plays, like, that you deal with so many different energies? Because you do men hair and woman hair.
Yeah.
So you think maybe that plays a part into it, that you're around so many people all day?
So within my business, right, and it's interesting you ask that because I'm trying to, let me not say trying, I am developing like what I told you it a long time ago. I don't even remember, but I was like, it's going to be called Plats and Proverbs. I said this shit a long time ago. It was like at another podcast. It was in Norfolk. Okay. But I am developing what I would call like the spiritual hygiene for like my line of work, as far as when it comes to being a stylist and working with men and women, because I see a lot of stylists struggling energetically when it comes to working with both men and women. And figuring out what do those boundaries look like, right? What does healthy social hygiene look like, so that you can keep the money flowing, keep the business focused, get the hairstyles popping, in and out, keep it moving, you know what I'm saying? And so for me, I have a lot of boundaries with my clients. Like, I'm not a person who's like, oh, this is my girlfriend, she my client and we going to the bar. I'm not that girl. No, when we come here and you get your hair, it's a fucking vibe. Like, we having a good time, the music's on, I might even pour us a little drink or so. But after this, I disappear. I go back to my world, you know what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of things I don't do. Like, I remember even like with my last boyfriend, I was telling him about how like I don't be hearting. Like, when niggas be like, hey, I'm running 5 minutes late, I don't heart shit. Like, I don't do none of that. I'm not hearting your shit, because I know it's like a like. But what we not about to have in these messages is all these fucking hearts up and down these messages.
Why?
I don't do it in business. I don't do it. If it's business, you gonna get a fucking thumbs up.
I get it.
Yes. You're good. I got you.
I ain't mad at it.
We not all these hearts up and down. Like, I don't like that shit. I think that don't look good. You know what I'm saying? And that was me just like taking a step back from it all and not being so like, well, I just double tapped it. Nah, fuck that. Do a little more work and tell him you're good. See you soon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get that. I guess for me, with my hustle, I don't deal with a lot of people. I don't interact with not nearly as many people as you interact with. And then when I do, it's behind the camera. You know what I mean? I pull up, I'm taking pictures, and most of the time my face is behind the camera, my hat is probably low, and so you don't really interact with me per se. You looking at the camera most of the time, you know what I mean, or top of my head. So it's a little different. So I don't, I guess that's why I appreciate the in-person more, like, because I don't get it, you know what I mean?
But you know what's so funny, right? Because how you describing that, right? I realized at one point when I was doing hair, I realized I wasn't getting a lot of face-to-face interaction because I'm behind the person and they're in front of me. And I will realize, I was like, yo, I really don't have a lot of like face-to-face interactions. And so it would be times that I would have clients who would like insisting on stopping and turning around and looking at me. And I'll be like, this is really strange, girl. Let me braid these cornrows. Like, stop
you
this.
got used to talk to people back in the head.
But I started to realize the energy that it was putting me in. And it almost had me feeling like more so in like a parental state, or like an authoritative state. And I started to realize like, hey, some days I need to be a student. And I'm not getting fed in that way because I'm above this person. I'm standing up, they're sitting down. I'm on the back of their crown. There's this energy exchange that's happening, and I started to like realize, like, that's when like the first time I started to realize like, I can't do hair all day. Like, I need other ways to interact with people and express my energy and to be put in different positions where I can be sitting on the ground with people eye to eye, right? Different levels and stuff like that. So it's funny you say that, because even with me working with people, I definitely work with a lot of people. I'm definitely around a lot of people, but I think for me, I'm like at like one of my best seasons of like detachment, where it's like me just getting to know myself right now. I feel like I have really healthy boundaries for my energy, for like my time, for just the exchange in general. And I'm not just taking a lot of shit personal. I'm really looking at it from like an outsider view. As much as I can put myself like as a third party and see what shit looks like, I want it neat. I want that shit squared away. You know what I'm saying? So because for me, I feel like I'm in a preparation season for what the future is holding for me, I'll need my shit squared away, cleaned up, neat. So whenever, you know what I'm saying, I'm ready for, you know, whether it be a partner, a business opportunity. What you can't say is, you had me fucked up or I had you fucked up. Nah, everything's square. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess, life is forever changing and, situations. And my view on this might be different in a year from now, 6 months from now. Who knows? You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, that's what it do.
So that's about growth. All right, so what's next? What's next for you? Tell people what you got going on. What's next?
What's next for me?
What's next?
Okay, so what I have currently going on, I have what's first? I'm planning for a hair show right now. It's called Zaydella, what's the last part? Zaydella Products.
Something you throwing or somebody else throwing?
Somebody else is throwing it.
Okay.
And his brand name is Zaydella Products. But he is like a hairstylist. He has his own like beard care line that we like now offer at the studio. All the men love. But he is throwing his first annual hair show in the Hampton Roads city. It's in Virginia Beach. It's on April 23rd.
Okay.
So it's a week before Something in the Water. But I'm a guest speaker and a guest stylist, and I'm hosting a workshop at this, so I'm excited about that.
That's what's up.
My last few weeks has been, doing a model call, getting all our models ready, figuring out like the theme. So I got something coming together, and I'm really, really like excited about it because it's definitely like different. It got me like out of my box with like creativity. But I also love working with this group. Like his name is Zay. That's who I've been communicating with the most. But he's so professional. He's so organized. It's making like everything like just real easy. Like, oh my God, we don't have to worry about nothing. Like it's so handled. So that is something that is like my next big thing I'm doing. We're also from this we're curating a photo shoot. So I'm excited about that. I got a lot of photographers around me. And you already know how I like to do with the photo shoot. So I decided that I'm going to take a photo shoot at the beauty supply store.
Okay.
I like that vintage look, and there's like two beauty supply stores that I go to like pretty commonly in the area. And so I want to showcase that beauty supply store, but I also want it to be like this vintage look with our hairstyles. And so I'm excited about doing that. Something in the Water is close. I'm praying to be a part of their lineup. Okay. And do some hair and do some work out there. Yeah. Okay. So that's
do some more hair for the artists.
I don't see, and that's the thing, I don't know yet. Okay. But it's I got plugged in, and I'm trying to see, is it for the artists, for the people performing, or is it for the guests who's going to be there? We're going to see though. But I just want to be out there popping my shit.
Well, yeah. Get out there and mingle and mix. You know what I mean? I don't know how. If or how, but usually always something happens. Or I'll gain access somehow, some way. We'll see what happens.
Okay. And see, that's my thing. I want to be working it. Like I've been saying since I first heard about Something in the Water, I want to be out there selling products, making money. I don't know how to get in that mix just fully yet, but put me in that game part, because like when it comes to the concerts, like the concert, and like this ain't no shade to Pharrell. Love Pharrell, he cool. But I wanted to go to Dreamville. Like if I wanted to be at any concert.
That just happened, didn't it?
That just happened.
Yeah, it was like a whole festival, whole couple of days and everything.
It was so beautiful.
I was supposed to go to one a couple years ago, and I actually went down there, but the day I went down there, it rained out, and I could only be on there for that one day. So I stayed up in the hotel with my friend, and we just kicked it. But yeah, I didn't even experience it. Damn. Yeah.
The time I brought Dreamville tickets, it got canceled that year because of COVID. And I was like, this is some bullshit. I don't want my money back. Yeah. I want my concert.
Yeah, word up.
But I wanted to be at that concert. But Something in the Water, I'm going to love being in that vibe. I haven't been to it at all, so I think it's going to be beautiful in general. So I've been wanting to make money out there. I feel like there's a lot of flow, and I want to be part of that.
I want to connect. I want to find a way to connect somehow. I want to do podcasting out there somehow. I don't know how. I'm going to facilitate it, but I don't know. I think I need to like really dig in who's coming out here, and not really the people, but their crew. And I think I want to start aiming for people that is way more accessible. Because if I try to reach the stars, you know what I mean, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna get to them, but I probably can reach the people around them. They're video guys, they're, you know what I mean, they're managers and people that don't get the limelight. I want to pull them in and have conversations with them. You know what I mean? So I just got to figure out how to facilitate it on that side. It's in Virginia Beach this year, right? So I got a spot that I could possibly use in Norfolk to get some stuff done. I just got to figure out the semantics of it, and you know what I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna figure out how to plug into something in the water some kind of way, even if I'm not there.
Yeah.
I want to be able to plug in a network or, you know what I mean, podcast or do something.
Yeah. It would be cool too if you talk to the vendors who gonna be out there.
Oh yeah.
That would be a cool connect, you know.
Yeah, because I could, that would be dope too. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so many different ways I can spin it. Maybe I'll do like interview based. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure it out. And I mean, it's not pressing for me. The representation project, I think, starting this now, I think they do something in the water next year. I'll have I'll have way more. I mean, I have a solid project put together that I can, you know what I mean, with a visual aspect of it and everything I can put forward. So
That makes sense.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I guess tell everybody where they can find you at social media wise and support you and all that good stuff.
So I am social media queen. I got way many social medias, but I will start with the first one. My personal brand is From the Coil, from FROM, the THE, Coil, COIL. If you're looking at bio, you will see all of my different like studios tagged. And so we got a wellness studio, that's the Coil Wellness. We have our art gallery, that's Coiled Together LLC. And then we have the Honey Coil. And the Honey Coil is for all of the beauty artists that we work with in the area. It's currently a total of 10 of us. So we have lash tech, nail tech, braiders, stylists, locticians, a barber, who also teaches coaching and boxing, full-time like fitness trainer. So, you know, we definitely, all in Newport News. The main like hub, if you need information, I would say pull up to 305 Main Street, Newport News, Virginia. We're right by the skating rink, in Newport News. And yeah, and that's us on Instagram.
Word. I'm gonna make sure that all the information is in the show notes so everybody can find you and tap in and do all the other good stuff. Yeah, man, good conversation like always.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate you pulling up like always. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is how I was doing it before. I got it way more figured out now. Like these microphones are so much better than the other ones. Everything is so much better. The audio is, I elevated everything. Everything I did before, because it was just run and gun. I had those USB mics. I plug into the computer, running shit through GarageBand, and was just making it happen. But it was kind of shoestring-ish. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I've learned a lot, and I still cherish every single one of those podcasts. Matter of fact, I think we got one where I only had one mic. And we just had it sit on the table, and we were just talking. And then I elevated to USB mics. Now I got these, so we moving up. You know what I mean?
Look, well, I pray to continue to see you elevating, because every time I come around you, it's something is always upgrading, something getting bigger and bigger and better. So I'm grateful to be a part of this journey with you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And till next time.
All right.
And appreciate everybody tuning in. And yeah, peace.
Unorthodox Haven Podcast.